Today's topic, like I said, is why I feel low or dense inside even after doing self work or healing work on myself. Hello. So let's set some ground rules before we go forward in the session today. That when it comes to healing work or any kind of self work, so we are going by the assumption that um, you are somebody who has participated, who has taken help of a professional, who has followed the guidance, who was open and receptive to receive the guidance from the professional, and you worked on diagnosing the issue with the help of the right person. And after you diagnosed the issue, you also applied whatever was required for you to apply on the journey, right? So that is something that you have done, and you did stick to the healing journey from for some time with one professional, with one methodology, with one particular pathway, and you followed it properly, right? So those are some basic ground rules, because if you have not done any of these things, if you're missing these points, if you're doing DIY, if you are just randomly doing things here and there, following just this pathway, that pathway, reading this book, that book, that does not come as a part of a proper structured, well formulated healing work, right? So if you have not done that, then majority of the reasons, that is the chance that why your healing work is not working. Because if you're just doing things here and there, jumping from one place to another, just listening to all the, because see, there's nothing wrong with the advice that we get from people outside. Even we talk online with people, but all of those things are generalized unless you talk to somebody who can diagnose your issue, who can exactly cater to your particular issue, diagnose your root causes. Then it's like अंधेरे में तीर चला रहे हैं, लग गया तो लग गया, नहीं लगा तो फिर कुछ कर नहीं सकते. So it's basically as simple as that, right? And if it's not working out, I guess the first thing is to check that if this is the reason, right? If you're actually doing a healing journey, or you're actually doing self work, working with a coach, working with a therapist, working with a healer who is a professional, who is experienced, if you're doing that, then rest of the points that I'm going to share with you guys will be relevant. So let's get straight to the pointers that I have to share with you all. So if you have already covered all this, and yet the patterns, the relationship patterns that you're attracting, the same kind of people are still treating you the same way, same things are happening in your life, you end up doing the same things at workplace, with friends, people treat you a certain way, you're not able to attract money, same situations keep happening, any of these any of the issues, you feel a lot of anxiety, overthinking, you're stuck in feeling very low, not feeling like taking actions, procrastinating, any of these XYZ kind of issues that we're talking about. If you have done all this, right, and still the patterns are repeating, then here are 10 points for you that you can look into. However, let me give this as a disclaimer beforehand, that all of these points I'm sharing with you all based on the collective data, the understanding that I have developed and experienced after working with my clients, right? And doing my own self work also. So all of these points are coming from that. Please do not take it straight away as advice or guidance. This is only for awareness. This is only for uh, um, getting insights. This is not about कि अभी हो गया पता चल गया, right? So the first point that I'm gonna talk about is related to this, is that you have worked only at the intellectual level. You have only got the insights. You have only been understanding things. You have only been diagnosing things. You have only been dissecting things. You have only been trying to understand it from this angle, that angle, all the angles, different angles, getting stuck in that loop of exploring and exploring and exploring and exploring and understanding yourself more and more, that this is also my pattern, this is also my pattern, this is also what I do. Absolutely important. absolutely important as a first step of healing work. But after the awareness comes, the bigger thing, the more important thing is to apply things, is to work at a level of habits, at the level of actions, at the level of reactions, at the level of behaviors, at the level of response, where you take a pause, where you don't continue to repeat the same things, but you continue to explore by understanding and bringing more awareness and observing and knowing more. Knowing more does not help a lot of us. The second point is an extension of the same first point, which is that you have done the work at the intellectual level, but whosoever that you were working with has not taken you ahead. Either you have not gone ahead with them, or they have not taken you ahead towards the energetic cleansing or towards the nervous system cleansing level. Because when we have all different types of issues in life, right? Issues that there are issues which can be solved only when worked at the mindset level. There are issues for which a little bit more of catharsis is needed, a little bit more of cleansing is needed, and the issue goes away. And there are also issues which are like those rigid fine lines, which are now absorbed in, first of all, your energy body, which is the subtle form of body that you have, or also in your physical body, right? Not necessarily together always, but these two things are highly interconnected. So in majority of the cases, 90-95% of the cases, these things are going to be connected to each other, right? But like I said before also, right diagnosis, your case is subjective, not everything can be generalized. But as I'm saying ki, there's a possibility that you had an issue which was more rigid, you did not clear it out in terms of energy, in terms of nervous system, right? So it's still sitting in your body and it's still sitting in your energy, right? And that's how you are still vibrating, that's how you are still um, uh, uh, you know sending signals out in the universe and receiving the same things back, same behaviors back, because somewhere the same things you're believing that you're deserving in life, right? So the pattern continues to repeat. Those are the first two things, that you don't take actions, you don't apply it in your life. And the second thing is that you have not worked at the level of energy, and you have not paid attention to your nervous system, right? You have not regulated your nervous system, you have not balanced it out, you have not done somatic work, you have not done any kind of body work or any kind of energy work, right? So that's two things. Now even when we are not people who are into any kind of body movement or yoga or anything like that, but we tell people that even if what we are doing, the energy work that we do, the mindset level work that we do, even if they are working as strong foundational pillars, you still have to take care of your body. You still have to do at least 15 minutes of exercise. Just go for a walk, go in nature, walk barefoot, connect with, ground yourself, connect with trees, connect with plants, dance, show your creativity, right? So these are just some of the examples. There are numerous ways in which you can do that, and you can balance out your nervous system. So these things need to go hand in hand, right? Because we are not just one blob of system which is a defined system that ओके अभी एक बार सॉफ्टवेयर बना दिया, ये एक फिक्स्ड सिस्टम है. नो नो, वी आर मल्टी डिमेंशनल. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, we have many angles of ourselves. We are panchkoshas. Panchkosha, each kosha has absorbed so much of information. This body, this energy, this mind is nothing but accumulation of this lifetime, accumulation of previous births, whatever, if you believe it or not. I do. But regardless, it's an accumulation of what you have collected so far through your experiences, through your generational thing, where you're coming from, whichever generation, whichever family you're coming from, right? Because let's suppose, even if there's somebody who does not believe in the non-physical side of things, but you would still believe in DNA, right? one thing that can be scientifically absolutely proven is that if you look at your own DNA, it's not just the wiring of one lifetime or one generation, it's a wiring of hundreds and hundreds of generations. So what I'm saying ki we are multidimensional beings. So if we consider ourselves ki only I have checked, I have got insights, I have got awareness, I did a therapy work with, I did talk therapy, or I did work with a coach and they gave me this insight and that insight, and बस अभी हो गया, वहां पे आप जाकर रुक गए. उसके आगे आपने उस इंसाइट को मिलना और उस इंसाइट को अप्लाई करना, both of these things are important. Both of these things need to go parallelly. We need to see कि अगर still after both of these points remnants are still remaining of that pattern, that then from which angle am I leaving this, right? So for an example, let's move to the third point. It's linked to this, that there could be addictive behaviors, right? So I'm not talking about substance abuse or people being addicted to smoking or drinking or any kind of drugs or porn or anything. I'm talking about something which we all consider very common, so normalized that we never talk about it, right? But there are behavioral addiction patterns, right? So let's suppose there's a guy, hmm? There's a guy that this lady is talking to, and um, he does not he would do love bombing, and then he would back off, and he would take the love away, so the woman becomes slowly addicted to it. Now this woman is addicted to taking to having low self-worth and constantly going back to this guy for seeking attention, right? Now even if she gets the awareness that this guy is not good for me and he is doing this, but yet somewhere she's addicted to that pattern, and she would continue to go back just to seek attention, which is called addiction to drama, addiction to chaos, right? So when we have been raised into such environments where constantly we have been addicted to stimulate ourselves, keep ourselves engaged, keep ourselves entertained, keep ourselves busy with what? Drama. Then instead of resorting to healthy ways of dealing with things, healthy ways of meeting our needs, we continue to be in the same dramatic patterns without even realizing that this is actually addiction, right? So maybe there's a possibility that the pattern that you're going through actually is an addictive behavior pattern, right? That even after getting the awareness, right? Even after getting the awareness, you're still not able to leave it. You're still not able to stop doing it, right? That falls in the category of addiction, and it does not go through merely by getting any kind of insights, awareness, or um, you know just you know taking a few therapy sessions like that. They are addictive patterns. They require deeper intervention, right? They require professional help. So that's the third point. And fourth point is that if you have, let's suppose, worked with somebody, you have applied everything, right? You have done everything that you can in your capacity, and even after doing all of these things, um, you start seeing improvement, but the patterns still remain. Then the multidimensional part of things that I was talking about, then maybe there's a possibility that it's not about you being stuck, because healing is not a linear journey. It's not an A to B point journey. If I talk from my own personal experience, I feel super fascinated all the time, because there are so many things in my life, my particular journey, where same thing has gotten delivered to me in life through 10 different ways, right? So, and I wouldn't say that any 10 of those things were not important. They were all important, and they all played a part in my journey. The only thing was that the information or the wisdom came to me, the knowledge came to me at the time when I was ready to receive it. Or maybe it came earlier, but I was not ready to process it, to apply it, to receive it in my life, right? So if you're already seeing improvement, then maybe there's a chance that you see it from a different angle this time, right? Because if you have already seen the improvement, that is the evidence that it is possible. Then another important thing that could happen is, even if you're doing all of these things, at some or the other level, you are just bypassing or just ignoring or just trying to really avoid the actual root cause of things, the actual subconscious cause of things, right? So you're not allowing your support system, or also your professional also who's working with you, to actually dig deeper and go deeper and see um, where the root cause is coming from. It has happened with few of my clients that I've had calls with them. In the call itself, I have been telling them this is the root cause, and they would keep deflecting, diffusing, and they would keep running in circles so many times. ठीक है, क्योंकि they don't want to come there, they just don't want to come there, right? Because कैसा हो जाएगा कि अभी पोल खुल जाएगी, अभी पर्दा हट जाएगा, अभी एक्चुअल चीज नजर आ जाएगी, and then they will not be able to run away from it, right? A lot of times you will see that we deflect the issue, we diffuse, try to diffuse, and just we try to get so defensive so quickly, justify so quickly, if even if a professional is telling their diagnosis that no, 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 maybe it is true for the world, not for me, not for me, right? So there's a possibility that you may actually be avoiding the real root cause of what is happening with you, and until you have the courage to go to the real root cause, resolve that, the problem will somewhere here and there continue, right? Then another point that comes up is that you're doing the healing work, right? But you're still operating from lack. You're still operating very harshly, very strongly from lack. So there's a possibility that the healing work has just become a checklist for you, just like something else that you do, right? And no matter what, you have been addicted to coming back to lack. That even if you, let's suppose, have to move 10 steps, you took 2 steps, and you're still saying that, but I have to go 8 more, right? So you're not really ready to acknowledge that you've already walked 2. So if you could walk 2 steps, you could walk another 2, and then another 2, and then another 2, right? And that's how healing journey looks like. It's never a destination A to B. It's never going to be that way, because we continue to evolve. The only thing that can happen is we stop repeating the old patterns, we stop falling for the old things, right? But wisdom, guidance, learning, growing, healing, that is a lifelong thing, right? And even for a pattern, right, it takes some time. So time does not heal us, right? If we just leave and we don't do any healing work, time is not going to heal us. But if you're doing the healing work, you will have to have faith, you will have to have trust, you will have to be appreciative of yourself, compassionate to yourself, right? If you are doing all of these things, if you're getting insights, if you're not compassionate to yourself, if you're not ready to love yourself, if you're not ready to appreciate yourself, celebrate little wins, it is going to drag you down in the same thing, right? And both of these things need to be acknowledged. I have taken 2 steps, but I'm still 8 steps away, right? It's not a failure, it's just a journey that we need to acknowledge for ourselves. And healing is going to go on lifelong. Patterns will change, patterns will evolve, dissolve, integrate, all of those things will happen, right? But new insights, new things, new evolutionary things are going to continue to happen, right? So it's not a thing like just going from A to B. So it's very important that when we are healing ourselves, we understand it's a spiral. Same thing we will be seeing from many different angles so that we can absorb it, process it, right? That's one thing. Another thing is that some amount of time, 3 months, 6 months, an year, is a basic minimum requirement, depending upon, like I was telling you, the kind of issue that we are dealing with, If it is a soft line, kind of like just created on air, easy to deal with. Drawn on paper, easy. Little tough, but still easier. Maybe it will take a month. But drawn on a cardboard, a little tough. Maybe take 3 months. Drawn on a wall, even tougher. Maybe it'll take 6 months. Drawn on a stone, even tougher. Maybe will take 1 year, 2 years, even 5 years. Right. So depending upon the issue, we also need to allow the time that we are giving to it, right? So let's suppose I talk about a lady who is going through narcissistic abuse from last, I guess, 10 or 11 years, and very bad abuse, and a very toxic marriage. She has been doing the healing work from last 2 years, but she hasn't still got the courage to move out of the marriage, right? And no one is nobody is there to judge her for her thing that you're doing the work, why are you still not courageous to move out of it, because the issue that she has faced in her life, why she's stuck in a situation like that, is very different, right? So we can only talk about ourselves because we know what we've gone through and what we are going through in life, right? And there is no one stop solution for all, and there is no one speed for all. We all are supposed to take our journeys at our own speed, right? So there is no such defined rule book, timelines. All the timelines that people give are tentative, what we expect, right? But at the same point of time, there are so many different factors to align with for the work to happen, right? And having a leap of faith, having trust on yourself, on your professionals, your facilitators, your guides, super important, right? Being so compassionate. So that's that. Another important pointer that holds people back is, even after exploring from all different angles, सब कर लिया, सब कुछ कर लिया, but identity से बहुत जोर से पकड़ रखा है कि my pain is my identity. If I let go of the pain, or let go of the pattern, or let go of this particular root cause, what will be my identity, right? So now the identity has gotten associated. So kuch ho nahi raha hai. Even at times, actually nothing is happening, but kind of subconsciously, kind of energetically, they're still getting pulled to create the same pattern. Patterns create bhi nahi ho rahe, and these are real life scenarios, real life situations that I'm telling you guys कि अब कुछ हो ही नहीं रहा है लाइफ में, ना ही triggers हैं, ना ही patterns हैं. Life has completely transformed, but the association with the identity is so strong कि this is who I am, this is Tina, Meena, Sheena, this is who I am. ठीक है, Tina is this, I am Tina, right? बहुत जोर से पकड़ के रखा है, छोड़ने में बहुत डर लग रहा है. कुछ हो नहीं रहा है ऑन सरफेस लेवल, छोड़ने में बहुत डर लग रहा है. सो काइंड ऑफ खुद ही वो पैटर्न्स ऑन देयर ओन पीपल क्रिएट, right? Just because they don't want to let go of the identity. Then another thing that comes up is that a lot of people, instead of taking right help, getting the awareness, applying the awareness, changing the habits, taking the actions, bringing, fixing or integrating one thing at a time and slowly creating a holistic life, instead of doing that, they will continue to read about all of those things. ठीक है, वो चीज हो गया. और दूसरी चीज, they will become addicted to the healing process itself, right? So now the healing process that they chose to come out of their pattern has in itself become a pattern, has in itself become a bypass. So there was this lady that I was talking to some time back, who is meditating from last 10 years. Meditating every day for hours for last 10 years. She started meditating for some very different reason, right? But over a period of time, she got so addicted to meditating, right? That if for one day you ask you, don't meditate, she will not be able to leave it, right? So kind of the healing journey, anything you do, there are like so many kinds of work that we can do that there is no count of, right? Whatever a person is doing, but now अब वो करने में इतना मजा आ रहा है, right? They're enjoying it so much, and they have kind of also attached their identity that, see, I am somebody who does this kind of work. I am wiser, I work on my healing. I'm smarter than other people. I know more than other people. I understand the depths of my life. I am more spiritual, right? I am this, I am that, I am XYZ, all sorts of things. So अब वो spirituality या healing journey या working on themselves has become now a way for them to actually escape from the issue. So I know people, same patterns have come to us, going to a therapist from last 10 years. I'm pretty sure that therapist is also telling them ki, now it's time for you to change your habits, take actions, this is the root cause, resolve the root cause. But kind of it appears that they are enjoying now going to the therapist, right? Instead of coming out of things. There's nothing wrong to go to a therapist, of course, for different issues for as many years as you want. It's a very subjective kind of a journey. But the point is that the issue for which you started, are you actually coming out of it? Or are you just now becoming too attached to the identity of doing a certain thing or doing it in a certain way, right? So any of these things could be happening. So yeah, these were some of the pointers that I wanted to share, that why generally people who are doing all of these things, and yet if you're not seeing any improvements, or you keep seeing yourself falling in the same pattern, or things are not working out, still feeling very low, dense inside. So energy work, nervous system level work, addictions, um, repeating the same, coming from the lack, not able to let go of the identity, right? And maybe just being too attached to the healing process, not taking actions, avoiding the root causes, or just going behind the intellectual thing. Any of these things could be the reasons why still it is happening, that the issue could be of a denser level, more absorbed in the energy body, more absorbed in the nervous system, which keeps coming back on the surface, right? So if you have not explored doing things at a deeper level, you have only explored it at the level of awareness and insights, um, it can happen. Transformation can happen through very simple tools and techniques also, right? There's no such thing like it is rocket science or something. Of course, for complex patterns, deeper intervention is required. But for regular things, what you're absorbing yourself, that what you're observing, things can actually be done simply. What is more important is applying it, doing it properly. And when you see improvements and you still see remnants, look from a different angle. If you still see remnants, check your energy body, check your nervous system, right? How it can be regulated better. At the end, it's very important that if DIY things are not working for you, take help from a professional, right? So that the chances of DIY things working for you is very bleak, very low. So yeah, better that you get your issue diagnosed, understand your issue, and go through a structured, well formulated process of working on yourself, right? So that's that from my side. From so many different angles, we have covered the discussion today, right? We have a community which is absolutely free of cost. If you guys wish to join, just check out our website, which is there in the link. And for any questions or queries or anything that you want to share, feel free to write to us in the community, and we will be there. Me or any of our coaches will be there to respond to you, right? So thank you so much, guys, for joining us and participating in the session today. And I'm looking forward to meeting you all. Thank you so much. Namaste.